Welcome to Fantasia, home of the melodious. My name's Azallea, and today gonna be bringing you guys another post-duel commentary. Now this time, gonna be playing with my Dark Lunalight deck. So looking at my opening hand right now, I see that I have a copy of Raigeki, Allure of Darkness, Fire Formation Tenki, Fusion Substitute, and Lunalight Perfume. So by itself, just this hand is phenomenal because I do have access to plays and I do have access to other potential options. But it looks like I'm going second, which makes this hand incredible because Raigeki acts as a board wipe. Allure of Darkness can potentially grab me some extra draws depending on what I get on my next turn. And Fire Formation Tenki just gives me a play. I can always search for Kaleido Chick, summon it, send a level 4 in the form of Crimson Fox or Blue Cat, and then Perfume can bring it back and I can make an easy rank 4 play there. I could even go for a fusion play if I wanted to because I have Fusion Substitute in my hand. Now I draw into the Summoner Monk, and Summoner Monk is one of the best cards to start off your plays with because he lets you tutor out anything you want from your deck, and in this case I got Armageddon Knight. Now typically I would send something like Perfume as discard for the Summoner Monk, but because I had what I had in my opening hand, you know, Tenki allows me to search out Lunalight Tiger, so I have just ways to put a ton of monsters onto the field because Tiger can bring back Kaleido Chick, and Kaleido Chick can send something which opens up Perfume to bringing whatever Kaleido Chick sent back. And also because Allure of Darkness was the weakest card in my opening hand because of course I had no dark monsters to use it with, so definitely not going to gamble with the Allure of Darkness and just blindly use it. Now, I use Lunalight Tiger, bring back the Kaleido Chick, and Kaleido Chick had options of sending a level 4, as I mentioned earlier, to make a rank 4 with, but I decided against that and went with Lunalight Black Sheep, because Black Sheep opened me up to fusion plays where I could recover a bunch of resources. I can add back the Kaleido Chick and the Fusion Substitute if I fuse using the Kaleido Chick and the Black Sheep. So that's why I went with that option there. It just opened me up to more things. If I wanted a rank 4, I could easily use Armageddon Knight, Summoner Monk, things like that. So that's why I kind of just went against it. But the main problem, as you can see now with Lunalights, as of recording this video, as of the current sets in the TCG, is that we do not have enough link monsters that we can comfortably splash into the deck. We just lack the generic link 2 markers, where you have the bottom left, bottom right arrows that most other decks have access to. And Lunalights, they would really benefit from the dark attribute one, the dark link 2, with the bottom left, bottom right arrows, similar to like how Mistar Boy is used in water decks and how Mrs. Radiant is used in earth decks. The dark link monster can easily boost up your attack of your Lunalight monsters, especially for like your fusions. They definitely benefit a ton from the boosts. But it's also very easy to summon in this deck because, as you can see, Summoner Monk, Armageddon Knight, they're all dark, and they're really easy to put onto the field. Summoner Monk into Armageddon Knight opens up an easy link to play with your dark monster. And that doesn't even look at the cards like Kaleido Chick and Black Sheep that I potentially could just set up and bring back and go for extended plays. But because of the limited options that we had, I just decided to go for the Lunalight Cat Dancer. She's not a bad option right now because of the fact that she can't be destroyed by battle. She acts as a little wall to prevent your opponent from just OTKing you next turn, right, if they're playing something crazy. Because she cannot be destroyed by battle, most decks have to tap into like the extra deck for removal, Castell, things like that, that target, or that just destroyed by card effect, right? So I decided to just enter the battle phase. I'll attack with Cat Dancer. Armageddon Knight can't attack because it'll summon by Summoner Monk, so that's just the restriction that's on the Armageddon Knight, so it's quite unfortunate. But losing out on 1400 damage doesn't really matter too much in this scenario because of the fact that I have so many options for next turn. You notice that I did not use my Perfume in my graveyard, just saving it, seeing what my opponent's going to do, and then acting accordingly. I also have the Raigeki in my hand and the Kaleido Chick in my hand, so I definitely have plays for my next turn. So it looks like my opponent's actually playing with Hieratics, and that explains why he passes first turn without doing anything. Hieratics definitely need your opponent to have something in order to just pop off, in terms of getting optimal usage out of your resources, I guess, with things like Tefnut. So my opponent goes ahead, summons Tefnut, and at first I thought like, okay, this is just gonna be like some weird dragon hybrid thing using Hieratics as an engine to get things out, potentially making things like Zulk and Crystal Wing. But it looked like he was actually just playing a pure Hieratic deck, and then it clicked in my head, oh right, Hieratics got their new Link monster that came out, which is really nice. It actually has a really good effect too. I believe it's like you tribute a monster on your side of the field or in your hand, and then you can just return a card on the field back to the hand. I don't think it targets, so that's why it's just fantastic. It's like an Ignister, but instead of shuffling it to the deck, it just bounces it back to the hand, right? But my opponent uses his monster's effect, and he tributes one of his Hieratics in his hand. I believe he tributes Sue, and he destroys my Cat Dancer, so I'm like, oh, well, dang, that kind of sucks. The wall that I potentially had is gone, and Hieratics have a very easy time OTKing the opponent if they have the correct setup. But it looks like my opponent had Destrudo in his hand, so paying half of his life points, summoning it out, opens him up to a bunch of synchro plays, which is kind of nice, especially in a deck like Hieratics. They have so many different options, they have so many tuners. I believe my opponent was playing quite a bit of normal monsters though, so that was kind of interesting. As you can see, he was playing Labrador Dragon, he was playing Wattail Dragon. I believe later you'll see things like Curse of Dragon and stuff like that as well, so it was definitely pretty weird, but it worked. As you can see, he's still not done with his turn. So he used Desires, he drew 2 more cards, and then he goes for Hieratic Dragon King of Atum. I'm not really sure why he didn't go for Atum first, because Atum usually searches out or summons out the Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, and as you can see, he's summoning that out now. It's limited in the TCG, so he could have very easily banished it with Desires. So if I was him in his situation, I would definitely have summoned the Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon out first before going for the Desires, because getting Red Med banished is definitely not good for his plays. So here he can summon Red Med brings Sue back. Sue actually uses effect and just tributes Tefnuit from his hand and pops my Lunalight Tiger. I'm not really sure why he did that. Not really sure if he read my cards at all. He probably just saw like, oh, Pendulum Scale, let's destroy it. A lot of people actually do that. So just pro tip of the day, read your opponent's cards before you do stuff to them. So because he popped my Lunalight Tiger, I was actually able to bring back my Cat Dancer, which was pretty nice, because, again, Cat Dancer acting as a great wall against my opponent, just having to force them to use weird effects and things like that to play around it. So here is the Hieratic Link monster, Hieratic Seal of Celestial Spheres, and it has a pretty good effect. As you can see, it's non-targeting, and it's a quick effect, so it's during either player's turn, and that is just really, really nice. And it's fairly easy to summon too. I believe it's 2 dragon monsters as material, so yeah, definitely a very nice card for dragon decks. And yeah, as you can see in my opponent's graveyard, I believe it was on the field earlier, Curse of Dragon, so that was pretty nice. I like the artwork of that card. It's just that it's a vanilla monster with 2,000 attack. It's not very too useful. But I guess he used it in Hieratics, I guess because it's a level 5, so he can go for potential rank 5 plays, because I know some of the Hieratics are level 5. So there's that. But here, I was really expecting my opponent to go for something like Ultima Zulkin, and then going for Crystal Wing and things like that, but I guess it's because he didn't have anything to set in his hand, so that's why he couldn't trigger Zulkin even if he made it. But he went for a second Atum, and Atum summons out Nebthet, and then Nebthet's one of the level 5 Hieratic monsters, and I guess he summoned it out so he can get rid of my Cat Dancer, so alright, I guess that's fair enough. He attributed the Tefnuit in his hand though, but I mean, he could have easily just returned it to my extra deck using his Celestial Spheres, his Link monster. But anyway, the Tefnuit triggers and he summons the Labradorite Dragon back from his graveyard, and now I believe he can go for another rank 6 play here, which is, again, just fantastic. He has so many different options that he can go into, and Hieratics are a deck that are known for just OTKing the opponent really, really hard. So here he goes for, yeah, one of the cards that enables a lot of the OTKs, which is number 39, Utopia Beyond. And Utopia Beyond, I'm so thankful that I summoned a Monks in defense position, otherwise I'd be taking so much more damage than I would be. But when Utopia Beyond summoned, it makes all of my monsters attack points 0, so you see Armageddon Knight is, if he attacks into it, it's basically like attacking me directly. And then he overlays on top of his Hieratic XYZ and summons the Gaia Dragon, so he's able to inflict piercing damage as well onto my Summoner Monk, which is defense mode. So that's quite unfortunate. I'm going to be taking a lot of damage, but fortunately for me, I won't actually be getting OTK'd. Well, mostly because of the fact that his Hieratic Link monster is sitting there with 0 attack, and he also has his other level 5 Hieratic that's in defense mode that has 0 attack and defense. But I'm pretty sure that if he had used his monster, both of his Hieratics, and he made, you know, Decode Talk or anything like that, he probably would have just been able to kill me. Yeah, I have 2,600 life points left, so not really sure why he didn't do that. Maybe he thought just the disruption of having the Link monster was better, which is understandable. That's actually not that bad. He can easily tribute off his Hieratic monster and then probably summon something out from his deck as well, so he gets pretty good value out of that. But yeah, he's showing some BM here. He's just attacking me with the Hieratic Seal of Celestial Spheres. The 0 damage to me. Oh, it hurts, it hurts. But we're going to respond to that BM very shortly on my next turn, because I have Raigeki in hand, as you can see, hovering over that very enthusiastically with my mouse. But yeah, as I was saying way earlier, I have a lot of setup for this turn. I lost my Lunalight Tiger, which was quite unfortunate, but I still have things like Kaleido Chick. I drew into the reinforcements of the army. Now I have access to things like Armageddon Knight as well, and I could potentially just send something like Crimson Fox, making one of his monsters attack 0, which is actually pretty nice. But before I do anything, because he has his Celestial Spheres on the field, I'm just going to activate Raigeki, because why not? Now, Proxy Dragon actually cannot protect a field from Raigeki, because of the fact that Proxy Dragon has to destroy instead. But because all of the cards are being destroyed, he can't actually fulfill the instead clause, so that's why he just lost his entire field, and he quits immediately right after that. So quite unfortunate that I wasn't able to finish out the duel by attacking him and all that, but really I pretty much had game on the field, or in hand I should say. I could just activate Reinforcement Army, summon the Armageddon Knight, and then Armageddon Knight sends the Blackwing Zephyros the Elite. Zephyros can bounce back Tenki, putting another level 4 body on the field. I believe that should already be enough damage. I believe that's like 3,000 damage on the field, and then I still have access to Tenki, the Kaleido Chick, the Fusion Substitute, and the Perfume in my graveyard. It was just, there's no way that I would have lost if I played that out. But yeah, anyway, thank you all so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed it or found it helpful, please leave a like, subscribe for more Lunalight content, and leave a comment down below letting me know what I can do to improve. And until next time, take care.